I recently ran a golf school in Spain with 14 golfers, and during that trip, almost all of them had this one same flaw at impact, and it was costing them compression and distance. And we're going to show you exactly what it is, what is causing it, and how to fix it with some really, really simple drills. So what is that fault that they were kind of almost all demonstrating? Well, it was a just post impact position, and it was just a lack of structure. Lead arm was bending down, left wrist was overflexed, and I'll put some images on the screen of those golfers so you can see, because I'm sure there's going to be so many of you who will relate to that. So I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that with 3 key movements and what they were all missing causing those poor impacts. And let's quickly talk about the 3 things that are happening from here through impact, which all golfers need to tap into. The first thing that's happening is that my thumb is going to be working down towards the ground. This sends the club down towards the ground. That makes sense. That's where the ball is. So this is kind of the wrists uncocking, if you like, in the downswing. So that will happen. Now, as that's happening, if you have a look at the logo on my glove, it sort of points directly in front of me. As my thumbs go down, my arm also needs to rotate. So that logo on my glove will start to rotate back towards the target. And the other thing that's happening as well during this process is that my wrist is going to be doing something like this through impact. So it's going from a flat or even slightly arched position to a sort of cupped or extended position. Now I'm going to put a graph up on the screen of hack motion, and you'll see, because those lines aren't perfectly straight, all of those 3 things are happening through that part of the golf swing. They have to. Let me show you what they were missing. They were getting into a delivery position, many of them really good. The thumb was going down because the club was arriving at the ground. The arm wasn't rotating as well as it should. And what that was causing is it was causing the wrist to overly extend this way into impact. So the handle was back, the wrist was overextended, there wasn't enough rotation in the forearms, and that caused these positions here where the elbow was bent, the elbows are separated, and it was causing those poor strikes, those inconsistent movements, and really the lack of power in the shot. Take a tee, pop it into the ground. Now, it doesn't need to be down low, it can just be sort of protruding almost like you would hit driver. And I want you to do a little test. I'd love you to do this and drop me a comment and let me know kind of which side you fall, because there's going to be 2 options here when you do this test. What I'd love you to do, set yourself up to that tee and just hold it in your lead hand only. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a little backswing, sort of maybe just halfway back, and you're just going to basically try and clip that tee, but you're going to do it with a little bit of speed. You're going to try and hit that tee sort of down the fairway. Now, what many of you will do is something that looks a little bit like this. Clip the tee. It obviously didn't go down the range, but I clipped it. Have a look at my lead arm. Where is the logo on my glove? Well, you probably can't see it, but it's pointing up towards the sky. What is my left arm like? Pretty much perfectly straight, and you can see how the club and my arm form a straight line. If when you clip that tee, you end up in sort of this position, that's a red flag. This is going to feel so natural to some of you, but it's the wrong position. What I would love you to do is clip the tee and try and end up in a position that looks a little bit more like this. Now you'll notice how that's different. Notice how my forearm and the club are no longer in a straight line. I've rehinged my wrists. My arm is not straight, it's slightly bent. The logo on my glove points sort of behind me, again you can't see that, and the elbow points down at the ground. This is an arm which is folding through impact. This is an arm which has got 0 rotation or very little rotation, and that's forcing the lead wrist to sort of extend and the elbows to separate. So the first little exercise I'd love you to do is just this. Just take a tee, pop it in the ground, just try and clip it. Nearly hit myself then. And see where you end up. If you're ending up here, this on its own is going to be a great drill, because you can just practice this. You obviously don't need to be at a golf course, and you even don't really need a tee peg. You can just actually make a swing, you know, and see if you can find this position. What this is really teaching you to do is take that lead arm and rotate it. Because if I show you the logo on my glove hand, it faces you, it would face the target, and then it will start to face behind me. What you'll see from those images of those golfers is that they were very much in this position post-impact, where the logo on the glove was starting to face up. There wasn't anywhere near enough rotation in this arm. And what that does is it creates these compensatory movements with that wrist. So the next phase to that is to hit some shots. Popped into the garden, found this, a small ball. A tennis ball would work equally as well, but something that's around about this size is going to be absolutely ideal. If it's soft and light, makes it even better. Now, what you're going to do with this is you're going to place it between the forearms. The smaller the golf ball, the closer to your wrists it will be. The bigger the ball, the closer to your elbows it will be. But what you're able to do is take a setup and just squeeze that ball into place. Now, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to make a full backswing. What you are going to be able to do is make a little movement away. But if I don't rotate my arms, thumbs are going to go down, lead wrist is going to extend, and that ball is going to drop out when I'm not structured through impact. I'm not able to create that really solid impact that we see the best players do. The ball is going to drop. What I'm really looking to do is to say, can I make little backswings and keep that ball in place? So you can see how when I do it correctly, I'm able to rotate the golf club. You can't see the logo on my lead hand. My arm is in that position that we spoke about, and I should be able to tee a ball up, and I should be able to make a little backswing and just clip that ball off that tee and keep the ball in place. What this is really teaching me to do is, if I drop the golf club, it's teaching me to take my forearms and rotate them through. Look at that movement. Look how my forearms are rotating. Glove logo is at you. Glove logo is at target. Glove logo is behind me. The rotation of the forearms is what's going to give you that structured position. Now, what I would then love you to do is see if you can do that and land the club target side of the ball. So I've got my tee. I'm going to put my ball back into my forearms, set myself up to the tee. Just going to get that ball a bit more secure. Land the club target side and go through. Land the club target side and go through. And what it's now teaching me to do is have the handle forwards and have this rotation. And I'm going to go ahead and hit a little shot where I'm setting. I'm having thumbs down, rotation, and land the club target side of the tee. So if you look at that shot, it only went a short distance, but it was struck, it was flighted, it felt great, my attack angle was down. Everything I wanted to happen happened because I controlled those three elements. So the next phase to that is just to build up a little bit of speed and just be aware of your end position, specifically where your elbows are and where they point. So what I'd love you to do is hit some shots that maybe are 50% speed. So for me with an 8-iron, it's going to be going around about 100 yards-ish. And I want to hold my position and see where these elbows point. Notice how my left elbow's higher, my right elbow's lower, big gap between them. This is what I want to avoid. When I hit this next shot, what I'm really looking for is elbows are closer and both are pointing down at the ground. And notice that my wrists have rehinged, the club is not wide away from me. So let me show you what some of you might find when you start to build up the speed. You might get things like this. That's what we were seeing those golfers to do. The difference here, very simply, no rotation. As soon as I can get that rotation happening, I should have a very different end position. Much better golf shot. Look at where the elbows are pointing, more down, closer. This is what I'm looking for. When I build up full speed, I'm just going to take that position and finish it around here. So if you can start to learn how to uncock your wrist, how to rotate your arms, you can be able to get much more structured impact and fix that really, really common faulted impact.